Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been following along, we're doing a Northern California National Forest tour in our 1988 Jeep Comanche. And on this segment, we are doing the Shasta Trinity National Forest, and I thought it would be fitting to start at Mount Shasta. So behind me here is the base of Mount Shasta. Unfortunately, it's under these clouds over here. We are doing Military Pass, which looked like a great route. It's just a scenic drive around the base of Mount Shasta. Overlanders HQ has a YouTube video when they did this route. I'll link it below. The scenes were just gorgeous. The views of Mount Shasta were incredible. I don't think we're going to get that today because of the weather. And if you watched the last episode, you know that we were surprised by snow last night. So we're hoping we're getting to lower elevation today. That's our goal. And so it's not so cold and we can have a nice night's sleep. You can see a little bit more of the mountain. So we came across a washout on our track, so we are kind of looking at Gaia and finding a way around it.
Not this man.
All right, we came across another roadblock and we were gonna get the chainsaw out, but I looked up ahead there. I don't know if you can see, but it's just tree after tree. This hasn't been traveled in a long time. So I'm gonna find another route. We finally made it back to the main road. Our windshield's covered in mud. So we're trying to get to either the town of Mount Shasta or McLeod so we can get fuel, because we're really low on fuel and we keep running into these roadblocks.
Road closures.
Road closures, yeah. It's been crazy. So I'll let you know if we make it there. Okay, we are almost there. I think we might make it. It's like a quarter mile.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Broadway Avenue.
3 miles.
We made it. After all the roadblocks and delays, it was getting late in the day, so I checked the map and I found a campground at Lake Siskiyou just outside of town. We drove out there and it turned out it was a camping resort, and it was $50 for a tent site. It still makes me a little sick. Most of the resort amenities were closed for the season, but we did buy a bottle of overpriced wine at their store. We took some lukewarm showers in the 70s bathroom facilities, and we refilled our 5-gallon water jug. And yes, I drank my wine in socks and sandals around the fire pit. Trey set a crawfish trap in the lake to check in the morning, and I watched the sunset over a cloud-free Mount Shasta. Trey's gonna check his crawdad trap. No crawfish here. I caught a minnow. Our first stop of the day was a waterfall just off of our route. While the falls themselves aren't super impressive, the basalt columns that make up the walls are the highlight. The hexagon-shaped columns of rock are formed by cooling, cracking lava. There's a cleft at the base where you can walk behind the falls as well. It was a quick trail and worth the stop. Next was a place we always wanted to check out, the Railroad Park Resort, where you can stay in train cars. We had lunch in a train car, and we were disappointed that we didn't stay here last night instead of the $50 campsite. This place is in Dunsmuir, right off of I-5. So we found camp for the night. Nice spot on this lake all to ourselves. So we made it to camp for tonight. It's a beautiful spot. We drove all the way up to Gumboot Lake, and there was a campground there, but it was actually really crowded. I was surprised because it took us so long to get up there. But then we came down this kind of almost four-wheel drive road and then came to this lake, and there's nobody here. We found a nice little spot right next to the lake, and we're going to call this home for the night. So on the Gaia map, we could see there's lots of little lakes in this area. So we're just kind of going for a hike here, and we found another nice little lake. There's a camp spot here too. To drive here, it's definitely a four-wheel drive road. We're just checking out these tracks here. At first I thought that was an elk, but then this one has a little claw mark, so we're thinking maybe a small bear. So we saw another lake on our map that we were going to walk to, but we just came across this kind of a gate. It's not locked or anything. There's no chain across it right now. And then there's this sign I'll show you. We almost missed this, but it does say private property.
On Gaia.
And so on Gaia I checked and it was private property. So we're going to turn around and head back to camp. We came up here on our hike and we can see Mount Shasta. No clouds today. Well, as beautiful as this spot is, the one downfall is that we've really come up in elevation again. We're just under 6,000 feet, and we're hoping there's no moisture in the air and that we don't get snow. I don't think we will. It's not in the forecast, but it's probably going to be very cold. Last night we were just at 3,000 feet and we got freezing temperatures. So we'll see how it goes. I have my electric blanket. We're probably going to do a fire. And as soon as that sun goes over the mountain, it's really going to get cold. So I'm going to be prepared, ready for bed.
We don't have time to mess around. It's almost cocktail hour.
Since we have a campfire tonight, I'm going to do a really simple dinner. Doing some sausages on a skewer and maybe wrapped in a piece of bread.
I'm gonna go with condiment.
Look, kid, the bounty hunter is like electricity. It takes a path of least resistance. First is extradition.
Great. While they're processing your papers, we can swing, dance, and swim. Cha, cha, cha.
Well, we don't have.
Good morning. We had a really nice night's sleep last night. It actually didn't end up getting that cold. It was warmer than the night before, so nothing froze, and it was super peaceful, really nice night's sleep. The issue we're dealing with is lots of condensation in the tent because of the temperature differences. So every morning I wipe down the inside with a towel and then we open it all up and try and air it out before you put it away. And then when we get to camp the next day, we open it up and try and make sure it's all dry before we go to bed. But what a place to wake up. This is awesome. There are fish in this lake and we'd like to go fishing, but the perimeter is really shallow with all these reeds all the way around, so you have to get out to the middle to fish. So no fishing here, but maybe later today.
Seems like we had to air up and air down an awful lot the last few days. So we don't really know sometimes how long we're going to be on a certain terrain. We drove in here with 32 pounds yesterday because I got tired airing down. So I'm kind of splitting the difference and we're going to go down to about 24. And that way we should be good on the slow asphalt roads as well as the moderate dirt roads.
So Trey decided to go ahead and take the rest of the air out, so back down to 15 because this road is really rocky, sharp rocks. And it's a pretty bouncy ride, so this will make it a little more comfortable. So I realized I don't know if I've mentioned that we use these stew-on tire deflators.
You have to mess around. You can preset them to let out whatever your desired pressure is, and you just screw them on and walk away.
Yeah, they're really nice. Pretty easy. You can see all these down dead trees. We're lucky we came during hunting season because a lot of these have already been cut out of the road. If not, you'd have your work cut out for you.